Have you ever felt discouraged about even thinking about buying your first home? Well, fear not, because today I'm going to give you some tips on how to breeze through the buying process. Stay tuned. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Real Estate Talk. When it comes to buying your first home, it really doesn't have to be a complicated process. It doesn't have to be hard. It's actually very simple. And these 5 tips that I'm going to give you today are going to help you feel not so crazy when you're going to buy your first home. Okay, tip number 1, save your money. You will need cash to use as a down payment to buy a house. Now, there are some loan programs that don't require any cash down. Those are going to be like your rural development loans. But typically, most people aren't going to get those. Most people are going to get an FHA loan, right? Usually right around 3.5 to 5.5% down. That's going to be the most common loan that we as consumers, residential home buyers, are going to get. So there's a bunch of different factors that's going to determine how much money you need to save up. Such as how expensive do you want your first home to be? What's your credit score going to be like? That's going to determine interest rates. Are you going to have to put any extra money down, maybe to buy down the interest rate? So there's a lot of different factors that go into how much you're going to put down. But if you can save anywhere from about $9,000 to $12,000 for your first home, if you're not going the rural development way, that is perfect. That puts you anywhere from about $250,000 to $350,000. Like I said, in some markets that are more expensive, you're going to need to save a little bit more money than that. Tip number 2. I see this all the time. I don't know why this keeps happening, but do not go out and finance anything. Put a freeze on all your credit spending. Furniture, cars, electronics, credit cards, anything where they have to pull credit or they have to run your credit, especially if it's going to damage your credit. Don't do it. Stay away from it. Anything that could potentially hurt your credit, stay away from it. You want the best credit score possible. A good credit score does equal a good interest rate. 3rd tip, have a good lender that you can trust. Having that trust with a lender, someone who's going to be there throughout the entire process with you from start to finish, they're going to actually be there even before you look at buying home because they're going to help you qualify. They're going to be there at the closing with you to sign documents. So having a lender that'll tell you the truth, that'll be honest with you, that'll be fair, that can really give you all the information possible, answer questions, that's the lender that you want. If they seem shady or they seem like they're trying to hide something or they don't want to be very helpful, just walk away. Go find another lender. There's tons of lenders out there. You don't have to just look for one and stick for that one. You can go shop around. So this is where having a good realtor is going to come in handy. They'll know the local area. They'll know, kind of who's good, who's not. They'll know competitive rates. They'll know competitive lenders. So having that good realtor is going to be huge. Tip number 4. When you are out looking for a house and you find something you like, be prepared to write an offer immediately on that house. You can lose the house of your dreams if you aren't ready to take action. This market is very competitive, especially right now. We're seeing low inventory, not a lot of houses on the market. So if you are approved for a loan, you've been pre-approved, be ready to sign that offer. Because if your agent comes back to you and says, hey, look, I just got a phone call, there's a bunch of other offers, be ready to move fast. You sit around and you can't make up your mind on whether or not you want this house, you can lose it to someone who is prepared to buy that house. Tip number 5. Do not be afraid of a bad inspection report. Granted, there's a lot of things when an inspector goes through a house that they can find that are tick-tacky things, things that just don't really matter. An outlet may be loose here and there. That's not a big deal. But when you start to see things like, there's a good electrical problem, like something's wrong with the wiring, or let's say the foundation is bad, or a toilet is leaking, or gutters don't properly work, don't shy away from it just yet. You see, if there are problems that are affecting the value of the house, well, then guess what? Your agent can go back to the seller's agent and try to make a good deal. They can say, hey, look, there's X amount of things wrong with the house. We've gotten estimates. It's going to cost, $9,000 to get these things remedied. You can get that in closing costs. You can get that whether a reduction in the price of the house itself, whatever it is, but don't immediately shy away from it. I see so many people that see a bad inspection report and they immediately walk away. Don't do that. The seller might be willing to work with you on that price. So again, this is where having that good realtor is going to come in handy. They're going to be able to make that deal for you and really work to get you the best price for this house. You know, some of these tips I wish I would have known in the beginning of my career, because I could have really helped out a lot of other people when I was early in my career. I didn't really know. And so now I can help you, the person who's buying the house, go be more prepared to buy. If you found any of these tips useful, you can click this playlist right here. That's going to give you so much more valuable information on the selling and the buying process of your new home.